Good evening. Laura Donnelly here from Dancing with Ease, Body Brain Balance. And I'm here with day 174 of Strange and Interesting Times. Today I want to talk about dynamic balance. So I think that a lot of times we see pictures of birds, animals balancing in interesting and unusual positions. And these are a photograph of an instant. I also think that sometimes it's easy for us to start to imagine that a balance is a fixed and static thing. I used to dance, and so you would do a piqué arabesque, and you would want to stay in that shape for a few seconds, a couple of counts, but really, their balance is always changing. It's dynamic and fluid and constantly moving, kind of shifting and realigning. It's not a once and done thing. Like, we don't hit balance and have it forever. And we don't get this thing that they call work-life balance. It's like a band. It's a movable thing. And so sometimes if you have a deadline, the work side's going to be heavier. And if your family side's going to be on the not quite so much together. You may be, okay, well, I'll tell you this crazy thing. When I was performing and touring, sometimes I would be on the road for 2 weeks at a time. And you don't always have access to a washing machine. And you can wash a few things out, like your tights in the sink, and hang them up. And the tights used to be nylon-y stuff, so they would dry pretty fast, and so that was okay. But at some point, I thought, I'm going to buy myself 21 or 28 pairs of underwear, so that if I can't do laundry every week, it's no big deal. I have plenty of clean underwear. And this just took a tremendous load off of my life. And I didn't have that pressure to get the laundry done because I had everything covered underneath. And so I could easily skip a week of doing the laundry if I had a big performance week, or I had been out of town traveling and I came back and I needed a day to rest. I didn't want to just jump into doing the laundry my first day back. So we can establish balance in all kinds of ways when we are open to creative problem solving. Now, a lot of times people who are wanting to start new businesses, they need to balance the time and energy invested in starting a new business with the time and energy needed to keep whatever else they've been doing to keep the household financial machine running, and family time and relaxation time and self-care time. So you have all these kind of little bubbles of time that you're working on. And so you get to move those around. They aren't fixed in time or space, just like your balance isn't fixed in time or space. If I sit down, my balance is different. It's on a different part of my body. It's sitting on my pelvis and what they call your sits bones, which if you're an anatomist, it's your ischial tuberosities. It's those pokey bones on your bottom. My mother-in-law, she was so skinny. Oh my heavens, she was very skinny. And she loved to have ice cream. And we took her to this restaurant, it's a coffee shop, and it had wooden chairs. And the chairs were so hard. But she loved the ice cream there. And whenever we would go, she would enjoy her ice cream. And then we would get up and she'd go, oh, ow, ow, ow. She had Alzheimer's. She couldn't talk a real lot. So I got an old chair cushion and I sewed it and I put a handle on it. And then I took it with us so that when we took her to the coffee shop for her favorite ice cream, we had the little cushion. And the first time she saw it, she was like hugged it. She was so happy. And then she sat down and she was happy, and her little bony bottom did not sink into the wood, and it wasn't uncomfortable. So her balance was changed by adding. When we stand up, we have vertical balance on our two feet, right? Our feet are here. When we lie down, that's a different balance. We are having a horizontal balance at that point, as opposed to a vertical balance. And my favorite is walking. When we walk, we are shifting our balance the whole time. Walking is from one foot to the other, and sometimes you're even between 2 feet, halfway on your front foot and halfway off your back foot. But you're still in balance. Not the same balance as when you stop and put your 2 feet together. And you could play with this if you wanted, standing with 2 feet together, standing with 2 feet underneath your hip bones, and standing with 2 feet apart. How do those different placements of your feet change how you feel balanced on the earth? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you like one better than the other? So then there's this idea that as soon as we get X, Y, and Z done, we will be in balance. Our life will be in balance. Things will come together. It will be perfect, or whatever. My idea is that the world always changes. We always change. And our balance is always changing in a really beautiful and organic way. So think about standing on one foot, think about standing on one foot and staying in balance, and see what happens. And see, suddenly you made yourself have extra tension, because inherent in the idea of staying in balance is that you can fall off balance. But if you just go on one foot and you give yourself the permission to feel that balance, to shift in that balance, to discover, I have a lot of movement. And actually your foot is designed, it has 28 bones and 26 are movable bones. And it has 33 joints. So the whole purpose of your foot, thank you, Monica Volkmar, is for it to deal with the earth, right? And to move and to shift and to hold itself on the earth in a way that is comfortable and produces the result you need. So like if you're walking, you go through your foot like that. If you're running, you go differently through your foot. If you're standing, again, differently. And what surface are you standing on? Well, I used to love to go to PT, and they had those movable boards, and you got to stand on the movable board, and where's your balance? And I kind of treated the PT gym like a playground. And I think they were a little scared. They had a lot of younger girls, like basketball players and volleyball players, who had knee surgery similar to mine, and they had to get back into competitive shape. I just had to get back into shape to teach. Was not the same as like playing volleyball against an opposing team and stuff. But they would do these fun things, and they would have like patterns they had to run, and changing legs, and the whole objective was to actually create balance between the two sides, so that there wasn't a favoring of the strong side and I guess it's favor your injured leg, meaning that you keep the weight off of it and you overuse the other leg. So there were a lot of things, and there were some running patterns and some jumping sideways patterns, and it was really fun. It was just really fun. I liked it a lot. And I think I helped them to understand not to make predetermined judgments on somebody's fitness based on their age, because we are all unique, The other thing about being unique is that we are unique each day from ourselves. So what is in balance for me today is not necessarily what's going to be in balance for me tomorrow. And if I must pay attention, I must observe. Does this that felt like a good division of labor in my life between outgoing energy and incoming energy, that balance that I struck yesterday, does that resonate with me today? Or is that not what I need today? Today, do I need more out and less in, or more in and less out? So that I can adjust my idea of balance and my idea of movement and my idea of what needs to happen, so that I can let my body discover its own ease and balance in the moment, which changes from moment to moment. So dynamic balance is your own easy moving in the moment. And, if you're tired, what would make you in balance is maybe to lay down for 5 minutes. If you're thirsty, what brings your body back into balance is some water. If you're sleepy, a good night's sleep. So I would love to hear from you how you determine balance in yourself, how you define balance in general. What does balance mean to you? We think of the scales of justice, and we think of this equal stabilizing thing. And when I was a kid, we used to balance on the teeter-totter, right? Your teeter-totter goes up and down. But if you were teeter-tottering with somebody who was pretty much your same size and weight, you could easily balance with both people having their feet off the ground. If you had somebody who was smaller and somebody who was bigger, if you put the bigger person inside the handlebars we could hold on to, and the little person way on the edge of the teeter-totter board, then the little person could balance the heavier person, because when they were closer to the center of the teeter-totter, it changed the balance point. And so I guess that's one of the reasons that I always looked at balance as a changeable thing, as opposed to a static thing. Except I think I did have in dancing sometimes this idea that I had to stay somewhere, and I would hold my breath to try and stay. That never works. I'll see if I can't find a picture of a tightrope walker. Those people have exquisite dynamic balance, changing from moment to moment as they walk across that slack wire. So play with your balance, play with your definitions of balance, and let me know what you discover. I will see you tomorrow with day 175 of Strange and Interesting Times. Take care.